Hey, what's up? Welcome to our amazing video on the Delhi Sultanate featuring a lot of spices.
Yeah!
So, what was the Delhi Sultanate? The Delhi Sultanate was a Muslim empire based in, you guessed it, Delhi, ruling over northern India and much of the Indian subcontinent at its peak between 1206 and 1526. Over the course of the nation's history, it was ruled by 5 different dynasties: Mamluk, Khilji, Tughlaq, Said, and Lodi dynasties. When the last sultan of the Lodi dynasty was killed in battle, the Delhi Sultanate came to an end and led to the foundation of the Mughal Empire.
Throughout the empire's lifespan, all of the sultans were bent on conquering and controlling all of the Indian subcontinent, putting power at the front of their regimes, possibly even at the cost of loyalty by its citizens. But although they were successful in conquering India for many generations, their reputation eventually led to their downfall, with rebellions and opposing players leading the Sultanate to crumble into 5 new empires.
5 whole new empires, no way. 6.
5!
5! What was society like during the Delhi Sultanate? Society in the Delhi Sultanate was divided into 4 major groups: the nobles, the priests, the townspeople, and at the very bottom, the peasants. The nobles included the sultans and his relatives, courtiers and holders of iqta, Hindu and Muslim chieftains, merchants, and bankers. Almost all of the wealth and power was held in this group, and as such they lived in luxury and style. The priests included the ulema, who were the guardians, transmitters, and interpreters of religious knowledge in Islam. They were given tax-free land grants, and so they were also generally rich and powerful. The influence of the ulema was very great and often influenced the policies of the sultan. The townspeople included urban wealthy merchants, traders, and artisans. Since nobles and merchants lived in towns, they gradually became centers of administration and military. And at the very bottom, we have the peasants, the lowest position. They lived in villages and paid all the taxes to state as land revenue.
What were the politics like during the Delhi Sultanate? The establishment and expansion of the Delhi Sultanate led to the evolution of a powerful and efficient administrative system. Administration during the Delhi Sultanate was largely influenced by their religion. It was completely dependent on Muslim laws, which were the laws of the Sharia and the laws of Islam. The sultans and the nobles' primary duty were to observe these laws in the matters of the state. The central administration of the Delhi Sultanate followed a very systematic and well-planned administration procedure. The system was run by different ministers who had specific work assigned to them. The system had utilized iqdari, which was a unique type of land distribution and administrative system. Under this system, the entire empire was very evenly divided into several large and small tracts of land, called the iqtas. These plots of lands were assigned to the various nobles, officers, and soldiers for the purpose of easy and flawless administration and revenue collection.
How did the Delhi Sultanate interact with others? Many of the Sultanate's foreign interactions were through the battlefield. A common theme between all the sultans was their desire to conquer all of India and would go through any means necessary to achieve total control. Through the timeline of the Sultanate, its rulers have had to deal with many oppositions throughout and outside India, beginning with the force in the lower half of India, Mongols in the continent above, and all this to lead up to battles at the end of the empire's lifespan, where the Sultanate's war hunger gave birth to many opposing armies who all aimed to prove themselves on the battlefield. Through some of the early sultans, the norm was a tribute from conquered empires, as letting the empire coexist under a more massive rule of the Sultanate and provide money income was a better plan for stability in the Sultanate itself. However, through later rules, especially through Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq, direct annexation and full control of the conquered empires became the norm. This was because of a growing paranoia of the citizens' loyalty to the Sultan's ethics and methods, and the Sultan feared that if they lost any grip of power, the masses could be easily turned against the empire.
What was the culture like in the Delhi Sultanate? The Delhi Sultanate had enforced their Islamic beliefs on the areas they conquered, creating new legal and administrative systems that challenged, and in many cases overtook, the already existing systems. This led to the rise of a new mixed Indian culture during the reign of the Delhi Sultanate, which was remarkably different from ancient Indian culture. Examples from this mixed culture include the creation of a Hindustani language, which was a mix of modern-day Hindi and Urdu, and also the birth of Indo-Islamic architecture, which was a combination of the best architectural elements from both cultures. And some of the best works of literature were produced during this time period. The court of Delhi Sultans was full of writers, poets, scholars, philosophers, and more from various backgrounds.
During the entire period of the Delhi Sultanate, Islam remained the religion of the state. Many sultans had enforced discriminatory policies between their Muslim and non-Muslim subjects, the majority of which were Hindus. The Hindus were required to pay religious taxes, called jizya, and many restrictions were imposed on their religious pilgrimages. Hindu educational institutions, temples, and images were destroyed, and mosques were raised in their place. Even Hindu traders paid double the taxes compared to Muslim traders. Overall, the religion of the Hindus was greatly disrespected during the rule of most sultans.
How was the economy like in the Delhi Sultanate? Under the Delhi Sultanate, the economic condition of India flourished. Agriculture was a major source of occupation. At the time, the soil was so fertile that it produced 2 crops every year. Major crops that they produced included pulses, wheat, rice, sugarcane, jute, and cotton. In terms of trade, there were various classes of merchants and shopkeepers, including the Gujaratis of the north, the Chettis of the south, and the Banjaras of Rajputana. The main articles of export from the Delhi Sultanate were grain, cotton, precious stones, indigo, hides, opium, spices, and sugar. And bigger deals of commodities were made in rural markets called the mandis. And as for taxes, the Sultan of the Delhi Sultanate collected 5 categories of taxes: ushur, kharaj, khams, jizya, and zakat. The main items of expenditure were expenses on the maintenance of the army, salaries of the civil officers, and the personal expenditure of the Sultan.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and don't forget to join the notification squad for more banger videos like this. Also, don't forget to follow Kieran on spl.org. Hi Mr. Manus and history people watching this. What's good? This video is pretty spicy, wasn't it?